The rarest form of smart. Understanding traumatic intelligence. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly known that two people just had an argument, even though they're both smiling? Or perhaps you can tell someone's mood has shifted just by the way they set their coffee cup down. Most people call this intuition, but in psychology, there's a deeper, more complex term for it: traumatic intelligence. This isn't a form of smarts you find in textbooks. It wasn't developed in a classroom or through high-end workshops. It was forged in the fire of unpredictability. It's the result of a nervous system that had to learn to read rooms, predict moods, and think 10 steps ahead, not out of curiosity, but for survival. Your greatest wounds might have sharpened your greatest strengths. The first signs of traumatic intelligence are hyperperception and hyperempathy. You don't just walk into a space, you scan it. Your brain, specifically your amygdala, is wired to catch micro-expressions and shifts in body language that others completely miss. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. You are also deeply attuned to other people's needs, often before they are. If you grew up needing to track a caregiver's emotions to feel safe, you developed a social radar that is now world-class. You feel others because once your safety depended on it. Furthermore, you are an exceptional problem solver under pressure. When a crisis hits and others freeze, you go cold and strategic. Because high-stakes situations were your normal growing up, your brain is calibrated to find solutions when the world is...
This intelligence manifests as a compulsive need to analyze human behavior. You don't just see what people do, you obsess over why they do it. You've become a lifelong student of human nature because understanding the unpredictable was the only way to make your world feel predictable. This often leads to a fierce self-reliance. You don't wait for a rescue, you build your own solutions independently. When support wasn't reliable in the past, your brain internalized resourcefulness as the default mode. This is accompanied by an incredible emotional depth. You feel the world at a frequency others don't have access to. A piece of music, a subtle injustice, or a kind gesture hits you with visceral intensity because your emotional processing center is highly sensitized. However, traumatic intelligence carries specific psychological weight, such as adaptive skepticism and a discomfort with stillness. You struggle to trust easily, not because you're cynical, but because you learned early that signals of safety aren't always genuine. You wait for consistency, and when you finally do trust, that connection is unusually resilient. For you, slowing down can actually feel unsafe. When things are quiet, your mind wanders inward, and your nervous system stays alert, waiting for the next threat. Learning to rest isn't just a break, it's a conscious act of telling your brain the danger has passed. You likely also possess a moral hypersensitivity, making you the first to speak up for others who are being treated unfairly, because you know exactly what it feels like.
The final defining characteristic is a deep sense of meaning, often referred to as post-traumatic growth. You don't move through life casually because you've looked closely at pain, and something in you has refused to let it be meaningless. It is the phenomenon where people who navigate adversity emerge with a philosophical clarity that others might not find until much later in life. You didn't just survive, you translated your struggle into wisdom. While this intelligence comes at a high cost, it is essential to acknowledge the architecture it built. Your perceptiveness and strategic mind are the transformation of a mind that had to grow quickly. The question now is what you choose to do with this intelligence. You are equipped to lead, to heal, and to understand the world in a way few others can. Your history didn't just leave scars, it left you with a vision.